What's going on, YouTube? I just got to wait a few seconds for Facebook. What's going on, Facebook? Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you as always. I'm going to try not to hit the desk so much. I know that tends to be annoying. I want to talk about a few things today. The first thing I want to talk about is 135,000 ballots, test ballots. This is AP. It says breaking. Election officials in New York City have retracted their latest vote totals for Democratic primary for mayor. They say 135,000 test ballots were inadvertently included into the count. So they're now admitting that there's some sort of, election problems that's influencing the vote. I find that very fascinating. Second thing I want to talk about today is there's an LGBT writer for the Washington Post who penned an article that says, yes, Kink belongs at Pride and I want my kids to see it. And she talked about how, there might be little bit of nudity and men in thongs and, sexual stuff. But, I think it's okay for my kids to see it is what she said. That element of the kink LGBT, which a lot of people have been saying is kind of creepy considering they bring their children to these events. She's defending that. I think it's pretty messed up and I think a lot of people do. So we'll talk about that. Third thing I want to talk about is probably my most controversial opinion with this man, Bill Cosby, right here. So I'm going to save that for last because, I would say about 90% of the population. I find this a fascinating number. Around 80 to 90% of people think that he's guilty. And I put out a quiz on Twitter today. I said, it's got over 1,000 votes. I said, how many people actually read Bill Cosby's court case and went over the official court charges and evidence? 94% said they didn't, and only 5 to 6% said they did. So the same number of people who think he's guilty matches the same number of people who actually didn't even read it. So I think that just shows you what our society is. Claire Huxtable said something on Twitter, the actress who played Claire Huxtable. And she said, basically, she's glad he's out of jail and that it was unfair and unjust. And everybody's going off on her on Twitter. Everybody's like, oh, my God, you're such a horrible person. How dare you defend Bill Cosby? What do you know? And this is somebody who's known Bill Cosby for decades. None of these people on Twitter know Bill Cosby. None of these people on Twitter actually read the court case. And it just shows human ignorance. I don't know everything, but that's just the main thing I want to talk about the Bill Cosby thing today. It's like, how could you really even have an opinion on a case that you've never even looked at? But that's how powerful the media is. They can destroy your character if they want to. And most people don't even care to, educate themselves on the topic in order to come to a conclusion whether guilty or innocent that they actually fully believe in. They don't really have opinions of their own. It's basically what other people tell them. I'll tell you my opinions in the third story, but that's what it is. My voice is a little bit hoarse today. I apologize, but hopefully it's not too annoying. Thank you guys for being here. I'm glad there's over 1,000 people on Facebook. It's been tougher and tougher to get people into live streams. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's my unpopular opinions. Maybe it's the algorithm or the fact that when people try to click the link on Facebook, it's broken. I'm sure that has a lot to do with it, but it's all good. No complaints, no victim status. People will figure it out. To anybody who's a Facebook supporter, before I start, I'm going live at 5 o'clock Pacific time, which is 8 o'clock Eastern time. Today, I'm doing a supporters only live stream. So if you're on Facebook and you're a supporter, you do whatever that is, $4.99 a month. You get a live stream every month. We're doing that today. If you're not, now would be a good time to do it. Check it out. If you want a more personal, intimate live stream that doesn't have a lot of people, this is the only way I know how to do it because Facebook has a nice interactive thing. And despite Facebook being crazy and annoying and I would say, censoring a lot of times, they did make it very easy for that. So while I got it, I try to use it. If you don't use it, you lose it. So that's what it is. Thank you to everyone there. And thank you to everybody who signs up. First story I want to talk about really quick is the Associated Press. I posted it yesterday. It says, breaking, election officials in New York City have retracted their latest vote totals for the Democratic primary for mayor. They said 135 test ballots were inadvertently included into the count. This is right from Associated Press. It says the Democratic primary for mayor of New York City was thrown into a state of confusion Tuesday when election officials retracted their latest report on the vote count after realizing it had been corrupted by test data never cleared from a computer system. So they're trying to say erroneously 135,000 test ballots were added to the count by a mistake. This is crazy to me because I'm going to be sarcastic for a minute. I apologize. I'm this naive, foolish moron who just watches television, who believes politicians, and I believe everything I hear. I trust the government. I trust the media. The CDC could never lie to me. CNN could never lie to me. Celebrities could never lie to me. So I'm a good little boy, and I watch the TV, and I trust everything they say. And I'm just shocked to hear this information, because I was told for a whole year that there could never possibly be anything suspicious ever at all at any point in any time about an election. They're secure, they're safe, and there's just no possible way for any sort of erroneous things to go in. And I was also told that, it's racist and it's Jim Crow 2.0 to demand that there's identification to make sure that people who vote are who they say they are. So this has just come to crazy, shocking news to me, because I'm a good boy and I listen to them. And it's becoming really dumb. I don't want to get off topic, but one of the most shocking things, the two most shocking things to me, that it's like, I'm starting to think these people know that they're pathological liars. So I think people respectfully, kindly, peacefully should start shaming them. Like shame on you guys for being such liars. They said that they believed in social distancing, and then George Floyd riots are all over the place in big groups. All of a sudden, they don't believe in social distancing. They're shameless liars. And same with, I'm wearing a mask because I believe in the science of masks. It's the science. Trust the science. You're political, not me. It's the science. I'm not political. You're political. This is the science. And then they're like doing TikTok videos where they're like, I'm vaxxed, waxed. This is a real song. Wearing slacks, going on TikTok. And then they're bragging, saying, I don't want to take my mask off, even though the CDC says I could take my mask off. I don't want to take my mask off because I don't want to look like a Republican. I thought it was about science. Democrat, Republican, that's not science, that's politics. Oh, yeah, well, the science says I can take it off, but I'm a political liar, so I want to keep it on. These people are the biggest liars. I don't understand how anybody doesn't see it. And for the people who are continuously lying because they hate Donald Trump or something, shame on you. You don't want to talk about the Wuhan lab leak theory because Donald Trump said so? Shame on you. You say it's science for a year and then you admit it's politics for the reason you want to keep your mask on? Shame on you. You say you're for social distancing unless people are burning down my neighborhood? Shame on you. These people need to be shamed. It's like, why anybody allows them to be pathological liars just blows my mind, because I think they know they're lying. I think they're just like self-deprecating and self-loathing. You know what I'm saying? Self-loathing people who are just like, it's like a heroin addict who's like, I don't know what I'm doing. It's like, bro, you know what you're doing and you need to stop. It's not easy to stop, but it's like, you got to, like you're not fooling anybody. But, in general with this ballot thing, for 2 years, I heard that, Russia hacked the election, Russia influenced the election. They used Pokemon Go and Bernie Sanders, like lesbian memes and stuff, like all these stupid theories of how, oh my God, they put out a Facebook post that got 50 shares. It's like, whoa, 50 shares. I bet that knocked an election off its heels. They told us for 2 years under Trump's win that it was rigged or there was a problem with the election. Nancy Pelosi had a lot of, the similar rhetoric as Trump, not the same, but similar. And then like people are so dumb after 2 years of being told that the election was sabotaged by a foreign country, they turn around and say there is no possible way that any election could ever, this was the most secure election ever. And people are like, come on, guys. I mean, what do you think, they could do something wrong? The government? I mean, no way. The things are like, that's all in the past, like World War I, World War II, like the Tuskegee experiment, like literally, like everything's perfect now. I mean, they would never lie to us now. I mean, big pharma is like the most trusted source on the, it's like, and now it's like, oh, yeah, there's 135,000 test ballots inadvertently included to the account. People are like, well, yeah, that makes sense. Cause like, during Trump's election, I mean, he lost like 3 or 4 states by under that amount. So, if you could do that in a New York City, you could probably, that could probably happen in, I don't know, like Atlanta or any of these, blue cities. And I'm not saying it did, but I'm just saying it could. If this could happen here, how come that can't happen there? It only could happen one time in New York, but never another time. You get what I'm saying? They're such pathological liars at this point. Like they have to know they're lying. And why anybody acts like they're not lying or pretends like they mean well, I think they know they're lying. I think they're equivalent to like a heroin addict who's just injecting themselves, crying and trying to deny that it's bad for them. It's like, these people need to be told no. It's like liberals are like mommy who says, do whatever you want, do mushrooms, go play with your friends. Republicans are like daddy who say, don't do that. Be home at 9 o'clock and stop committing crimes. And now liberals, instead of that like normal balance of like the JFK era, Now liberals are like, yeah, just do sexual things in front of children and just, and it's like, no, that's evil. That's not like liberal, like you're having fun with your friends. Like you guys are disgusting, like demon weirdos now. It's like, you need to stop, like literally it took 10 years. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but it took 10 years for them to say, stop shaming, stop using the FAGGO. I'm not going to say the whole word in rap music. It's hateful to gays. And everyone's like, yeah, I mean, I don't want to be I don't want to sound hateful to people. So yeah, I get why we wouldn't use that. It only took 10 years from rappers to stop saying that word to rappers making music videos, having gay sex with Satan. Like what could possibly be more evil than having sodomy with Satan himself? Like that's like more evil than something I could even think of. And then like justifying sexual acts in front of children and thongs. Like, hello, is anyone home? It's like every Christian pastor that seemed crazy. It's like, what church does that guy preach at? I want to go there because clearly he knew something before I did. But in general, I don't understand how these people don't get this. So anyway, check out that story. They're admitting that there's 135,000 test ballots inadvertently included to the account. Before I move on, if you watch a Dick Gregory video on YouTube, that'll probably eventually be banned. Hopefully not. Rest in peace, Dick Gregory. He talks about two Trumps. It's interesting. I don't know whether I believe him or not, but I do believe him there's a Wall Street Journal article when Dick Gregory, he's a black comedian, civil rights activist, I think all around interesting guy. He said when he ran for president, and he has a news article to prove it, they shut down the machines in one state because he was winning. He said he doesn't think he was really winning, but he thinks that they were trying to add votes or something. And by mistake, it went to him. So they had to shut the machines down. This is all documented Wall Street Journal. Like he has it from the 70s or 80s or 90s. I don't know when he ran. Check out that stuff. So when Trump acted like he didn't know until after this election, I'm not trying to blame him, but it's like he complained about machines during Mitt Romney. Now something weird happened now. This is not new that this could happen. This is decades old. And, they waited, I think, until after to say something. But I get it. It's tough. I don't know what I would do if I'm president. I'm just saying, like, people act like this is brand new stuff on both sides. And I don't think it is. But whatever. Next story is, this article came out. This is only a matter of time. By the way, the slippery slope is real. So any conservative that tells you, well, this might lead to this. 10 years ago, I wouldn't have believed them. Okay. I would have been naive. I would have been I'm still very kind, but I would have been foolish. And I would have said, what are you talking about? People just want to get married. What's the difference? Now I understand from multiple, like, religious perspective, literal perspective. But anyway, when I was in college, I would have been like, no, well, who cares? Like, whatever, you could have that belief, but like, why not? And, it only took, what has it been, 15 years from them to say, okay, we just want to be married, to we just want to change the culture and have an entire month where we just flaunt around our pride, to, this is a Washington Post article that says, yes, kink belongs at Pride, and I want my kids to see it. Children need to know that they can make their own ways in the world. I'm going to be as nice and respectful as I possibly can be, as I always try to be. The writer's name is Lauren Roello, and it says on her Twitter profile that actually autistic writer. So she's autistic and also a former sex worker. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, a lot of autistic people are just like genius level people. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with, like, everybody does their own thing. So there's no shame. I'm just saying, I'm trying to give this girl the benefit of the doubt because I feel bad that she's being exploited, in my opinion, by Washington Post. They're letting her write about the sexualization of children, or at least like what I would consider soft sexualization, hard, pretty much nudity in front of children, which is pretty messed up. And she's out here like defending it. It's like, I don't understand why they're publishing that, but God bless her. And I pray for her career in a better way than this. But anyway, I'm trying to be as thoughtful as I possibly can be. But here's the article. If you guys don't know what kink is, it has multiple definitions. It could be like a kink as far as like, something slightly messed up. It could be also like a way of life, a flair, but it's mostly known, I would say, there's like 5 definitions for the word kink. It's mostly known as like a deviant sexual act. Like if you have kinks in the bedroom, it means you're not just trying to have vanilla sex. I'm sorry. I feel like my age range is from like 18 to like 80. So I'm like explaining kink to like 80-year-olds and 18-year-olds. It's not right, but whatever. This is the topic. I hate, if your kids are watching and this is not appropriate, now's the time to turn it off. Monitor your kids because the internet's a sick place. Disney is turning very creepy. So if you're a parent and your kids are under 18, I would say don't let them go on the internet and just watch me other people, because I'm probably not that bad, but I'm also an adult saying adult things a lot. And a lot of these kids networks have turned into like freak shows. So just monitor your kids. Anyway, kink is mostly known as like a sexual deviance in the bedroom. Like, oh, I don't want to just have regular sex. I want to do this and do this and do this. And I would say on its front, I think there's a defense for why it's good and why it's not. But on its front, if it's between two consenting adults, I don't really care. I don't care what people do in the bedroom. I never have, as long as you're not raping somebody or, doing something horribly like wicked. Only God can judge you. So, and I'm sure God judges me too. But anyway, the kids thing is where I draw the line. Like they're using LGBT to bring in like child exploitation and, in my opinion, like grooming of children. And it's becoming common in other places too, but really in the LGBT, where they're using as a shield, like, oh, I'm just like someone like Kevin Spacey. I don't know exactly what happened, but these allegations come out about like underage guys who are like 15, and all of a sudden he's like, I'm gay, and everyone's like, oh yeah, he's gay, and I'm like, yo, okay, but this, I don't think the story, the big kicker there wasn't that you were gay. I think it was like the age, but whatever. I get that's a good cover or whatever. God bless that guy. But anyway. I think it's becoming a sort of thing where they're like, oh yeah, like drag queens and shit. What are you, anti-gay? Oh, you hate gay people. And you're like, I wouldn't say I hate gay people. I would say I think it's weird to do a strip dance of homosexuals in front of children. Just like I think it would be weird to do, straight like women sex worker strippers in front of children. I think they're both weird, and we could debate about which one's weirder. But in general, yeah, I don't think that's anti-gay. I think that's like sexualizing children and exposing them to sexual acts at an age that's probably not smart, that could, screw them up. Or in general, there's a debate to be had at bare minimum. I'm going to read the article because it's not any better than it sounds on its front. This is the article. Yes, kink belongs at Pride, and I want my kids to see it. When our children grew tired, we plopped on a nearby curb. Just as we got settled, our elementary schooler, nice, way to go, lady. Our elementary schooler pointed in the direction of oncoming floats, raising an eyebrow at a bare-chested man in dark sunglasses whose black suspenders clipped into a leather thong. The man paused to be spanked playfully by a partner with a flog. What are they doing? My curious kid asked as our toddler cheered them on. The pair was the first few of a dozen kinksters who danced down the street, laughing together as they twirled their whips and batons, some leading companions in leashes. At the time, my children were too young to understand the nuance of the situation, but I told them the truth, that these folks were a member of our community celebrating what they are and what they like to do. So she didn't make it unclear of what she was exposing her toddler and her elementary schooler to. It was sexual acts, leashes, flogs. These are sexual tools that are usually in the bedroom in private, where you do it with whoever you want privately. But now you have the LGBT mafia doing it in public in front of children and toddlers. And I think even most gay people understand that that's screwed up. And I don't think there's that much defense, to be quite honest, outside of this psychotic liberal journalist activist. If you ask normal people, I don't think they would even support that. But this journalist makes my toddler's watching gay guys in a thong spank each other on the butt like they would in the bedroom in public. And yeah, it's like sexual kind of, but like, I wanted to tell my kids the truth about it. I mean, to me, that's like child abuse. You're exposing your children. Maybe I'm old school, but I remember my mom, God bless her, she used to cover my eyes during Titanic, and I was probably older than these kids. I was like, I want to see what's going on. But at the same time, she didn't want me to see the sexual stuff because I think it's damaging at a certain age. And I'm a child, just not to be too personal, but I am a child of the internet. So the internet was just starting out when I was younger. And I think I understood the internet. I was a smart kid. I understood the internet more than the rest of my family at a young age. So through, just having the internet at an early time and things were just starting out, I was exposed to porn earlier than I probably should have been, just like by a mistake, because the internet was like the wild, wild west at first. And you're just browsing, clicking, people are, playing games. I'm hearing curses and all this stuff. And I don't think it's good. I would never want a kid to do that. I think it can be damaging. And I think in general, if they're a toddler, and they're looking at gay guys slap each other in the butt with I think that could have long-term psychological effects at such a young age, and also mold a kid who doesn't know what they're doing. So this is another sicko thing I think the LGBTs are doing. When I was that age, I thought I was a Power Ranger. I thought I was a Ninja Turtle. I thought I was going to be a fireman, a spaceman, an archaeologist, whatever. You don't know who you are yet, so you only know what you hear and what you learn. So if you don't understand sex, you're not going to think about sex until you're in your teens, probably, or early, barely at that point. But then if you're exposed to sexual acts and gay stuff as a kid and transgender culture, that can influence your decision. I thought I was a Power Ranger until I was 8, and I literally thought maybe I could be a Power Ranger. So if you introduce your kids to this stuff, yeah, maybe they think they want to switch genders. Is that because deep down inside they really feel that way? Or is it because you told them to feel that way and they don't know that much, so they just did it for attention? There's a difference. I think there's truly people who, deep down inside feel a certain way, and you should be able to talk to them. And then I think a large portion of the reason it's on the rise is not because deep down, this is just my personal perspective, people really feel this way. It's because when you inject so much stuff into culture like this, it's going to brainwash kids at a young age, and they don't know enough to make decisions. And, they're taking subservient, orders from their teachers and parents until they're 18, 19 years old, if not 22. So, this is so obviously messed up what she's doing. There's a conversation to be had. There's a line to be drawn. I believe personally there's a debate in a free country, but, this is how they act. They've gone from marriage to taking over, not allowing you to criticize them, not allowing you to joke about them, not allowing to have a conversation about them. You can't disagree with them. And they're going to now basically justify letting their toddler watch gay guys spank each other on the butt. I mean, these are sicko people. And it's not everybody that's gay, but this like liberal LGBT, like journalist class are messed up. And, people use the term the gay mafia. And it's funny because, you're probably at this point better off talking about the Italian mafia than you are LGBT. Like they literally do act like a mafia. Like, for example, there's one guy, Republican, running in New York City as a governor. I think it's governor. If you look up his Wikipedia, apparently he was some famous guy, and he badmouthed the Italian mob back in, I don't know, the 70s or 80s. And there's this whole story on Wikipedia where they picked him up and almost killed him. And he jumped out the car and he's alive. He's running in Republican. Crazy story, but it's like, that's how the mob used to operate. If you don't bother the mob, they don't bother you. But if you talk about the mob, you might have some problems on your hand. That's like some old school gangsta. The LGBT, like you could probably get away with, talking about that. Now, I wouldn't say it's the greatest idea unless you really have something important or interesting to say. But, like the LGBT mafia, it's like you can't question them. You can't criticize them. You can't joke about them. You could joke about anything. Like you can't joke about gay things. Oh my God, that's homophobic. What are you? Some sort of like reptilian overlord? I'm just joking with the reptilian, but it's like, are you the overlords of society where you're too good to be joked about? Like if you could joke about straight people, you can't joke about gay people. You're above comedy. Like F you, excuse my language, but it's like, get over yourselves. These people are so like self-righteous and they end up like Megan Rapinoe and they're just annoying. I don't care that you're lesbian. You just suck, in my opinion. You're just like a self-righteous, pompous, completely delusional person who's getting everything handed to her because she's annoying. And I actually like women's soccer. So, you've made me not like it, unfortunately, but whatever. It's becoming a little bit too much. And on the face of it, say Pride Month, like there's all these polls I'm seeing in places and there's no option to say you don't even like it. Like, listen, you don't have to like the 4th of July. I think you should like the 4th of July. But if you don't like the 4th of July and you don't like America, I'll talk to you, but you should have the freedom to feel that way. Like these people act like no one can disagree with Pride Month. They're like, what part of Pride Month do you like? You must love it, right? I mean, what's your favorite part? It's like, is this communism or is this Pride Month? And, I find it goofy on its head. I don't care what people do in the bedroom. I don't care if people decide to, do whatever they want. Like in a perfect world, I'm so busy living my life. It doesn't even faze me. And I probably won't even ever see you. So it doesn't matter to me. And if I do see you, if you don't talk about it all the time, I probably won't even know what you do in the bedroom. And that would be even more, ideal because I don't walk around and tell people what I do in the bedroom. So unless people have gotten to that level with me, they probably don't know. So in a perfect world, no one even cares about this stuff. But in general, I find Pride Month so goofy on multiple levels. First of all, pride is a sin. It's a biblical sin, and in general, I don't think being overly prideful about anything is a good idea. If you're super super proud of like something and you're grateful and stuff, I think it's good to be grateful. But pride is one of the sins because overly prideful leads to demise in any human being. This is just, I think, the law of the universe. So you're taking pride in the fact that you have sex with the same gender. It's like, to me, on its face, it's just stupid anyway, where it's like, I don't know. It's the same as being proud of like being a straight couple that's kinky. You're like, every month we celebrate for a month that we use whips and chains. It's like, if you do that and you consent to it and that's your thing, like, I'm not going to judge you. Like, listen, do what you got to do. But like the fact that you're going to celebrate it for a month as if you're like Martin Luther King Jr., it's a little bit weird to me. I don't know. I think just like celebrating your sexuality, whether you're straight or gay, for a month and being super proud of it, I think is really stupid. Honestly, I like, if straight month, it's like, that's stupid. Like kinky month, that's stupid. Like I have threesomes all the time month. Like, okay, get over yourself. Like if you want to do that, just do it like privately, or start a sex podcast or something if you're like that into it. I guess the porn industry is open season now with OnlyFans. I'm not advocating to do that. I'm just saying there's routes to do that besides like celebrating what you do in the bedroom for a month. It doesn't really make any sense to me. On that note, there's a really funny movie. I don't know if you guys seen it. It's not a movie a lot of people have seen, but it's really funny. It's called Pop Star. It's by Andy Samberg. Very funny guy. He pretends to be a pop star like Justin Bieber, Macklemore, whatever. And he's this like pompous, douchey, self-righteous pop star who's so into himself, and his career collapses because he's such a dick. Excuse my language. And there's this one song, it's called I'm Not Gay or whatever, Equal Rights. And the whole thing's like a musical. And he's trolling Macklemore because Macklemore made this song about like gay rights and he's not even gay, which is nice or whatever. But the song in Pop Star, if anyone's seen it, it's like, I'm not gay, but if I was, I would want equal rights. I'm not gay, but if I was, you could marry who you want. And like he just keeps saying in the song, I'm not gay, I'm not gay, I'm not gay, I'm not gay. But if I was, I'd be like you, but I'm not gay. But here's a song for the gays, but I'm not gay. It's a hilarious song. But anyway, the part that I'm talking about is at the end of it, they had a feature from Ringo Starr from the Beatles. And he says after it, he says, hey, mate, he's like, gay marriage has been legal for 10 years now. Why are you still singing about it? Like, it's so funny. The comedic timing is hilarious. But the funny part is it's true. It's like gay people have been able to get married for 10 years. You're singing about it like you're breaking the boundaries. It's already been done. So it's like, what are you so mad about? What are you so happy about? It's like, just do your, like he's acting like they're shy. Like, dude, you've got what you want. Just stop now. Like it's fine. Like you could celebrate, but and it's becoming a cultural thing too, in my opinion, where I don't care what people do, but there's one day for the freedom of this country. It's called the 4th of July. Maybe there's a few others. And on 4th of July, they closed beaches last year. So last year on my holiday and our holiday as a culture to celebrate our independence, the government told us, you're not independent anymore. You're now peasants. Have a good 4th of July. Stay home. We'll tell you when you can go outside. You can't go to the beach. So our one day for independence, we got flexed on by the government. And now we have a whole month for sodomy to celebrate the fact that people are proud of being sodomites and homosexuals. I don't care what you do. I'm not saying it in a negative way. I'm just saying like, that's a little weird to me. And I think this is all part of the plan. Black Lives Matter, shut down black businesses. Black Lives Matter, turn NBA players into peasants. Do you know what happened this year? I'm not trying to brag, but I'm on fire right now. Excuse me. But things are just flowing. I watched the NBA. Everybody's getting injured in the NBA. There's more injuries I've seen among star players this year than it. Do you know why? LeBron James, to his credit, actually called it. Because of COVID protocols, they didn't give enough people time to rest during this season, during last season. So they're playing on very little rest, and they're all getting injured because professional athletes need to rest or else they're going to get injured. So more players now than ever getting injured because they care about your health. They care about your health so much, they're injuring everybody. They don't give a shit about your health. They don't care if every star player gets injured. They're making money off these basketball players. So, yeah, COVID protocols for COVID-19, but everybody's breaking their ACL. Oh, yeah, that's really healthy for NBA players. Like, I'm sure COVID would throw them for a loop, but an ACL is really good. No, they don't give a crap about NBA players. Everything they're doing is a psyop. Every single thing. So with Pride Month, it's like, it's not about how gay you are or not. It's just like, what are they, the mafia, talking about, sexualizing children, saying it's okay, saying you can't agree, taking a month to just brag about what they do in the bedroom. It's just goofy. And I think more people now than ever are annoyed by it, not because you're gay, just because you're annoying. So I find personally, I don't know if this is popular or not, but the most annoying people of every oppressed group, or that claim to be oppressed, gay, black, Jewish, Asian, I'll even say white, every race, the most annoying people are the ones always crying about stuff. It's like, it's like there's gay people that I'm friends with that don't act like these people. Like the most annoying people, oh my God, that's anti-Semitic. Oh my God, that's racist. Oh my God, that's anti-gay. Like no cool gay person is crying about anti-kink shaming. Like only the losers are doing that. No cool Jewish person sits online and cries about anti-Semitism all the time. I have 7 Jewish friends. I don't think they've once brought up the word anti-Semitism to me. I've had Jewish friends since I was in 5th grade. I know some people for 15 years. They haven't one time called anybody in front of me an anti-Semite. You know why? Because they're too busy not being annoying and being a cool person to care about what other stupid people are doing. And when other people are calling out other Jewish people that are annoying, they don't cry anti-Semitism. They're like, yeah, I don't like that person either, whatever. It's not like this whole thing. So it's like, my black friends don't cry about racism all the time. They're too busy succeeding, enjoying life, and being pleasant to be around. If they weren't pleasant to be around, you look at some of these progressives, no offense, they're just annoying. Like it's not your skin color. It's just you. You're annoying. It's not every gay person on the planet. It's you, your journalists, your little parades you do, and the creepy op-eds you write. Like that's the big scoop. Like nobody that's not this annoying has to like do this all the time. It's the most annoying people of every group that they think that everybody hates everybody else because they're annoying. It's like, no, people just don't like you because you suck. It's not like there is no giant, like, do Republicans hate Dave Rubin because he's gay? I don't think they care. Do they, they don't care that much. Does everyone agree with it? No, but honestly, Dave Rubin does better than I do. And no one seems to care. Trump is like, oh, let me see your husband. Like, just stop being so annoying. And everybody stops caring. Just stop being so annoying. That's my message. But let me know what you guys think. It's getting creepy out there. As if this wasn't unpopular enough, I'm going to weigh in on probably the topic that's going to get me in the most trouble, which is, Bill Cosby. So he got, I guess, freed from prison today. And I would say my opinion on this is unpopular, but to be quite frank, I don't really care. At this point, isn't that my whole thing? I don't do it to be trendy. It's just people are so stupid that, basic common sense and reading is like a threat. Anyway, this to me speaks volumes more than anything I'm going to say right now. I did a quiz on Twitter. I said, how many people actually read Bill Cosby's court case and went over the official court charges and evidence? Over 94% of people said they didn't read the court charges. They didn't look at the evidence. They don't know anything. All they know is what other people are talking about. So how is everybody so damn sure of what happened in the Bill Cosby court case if they never even read it? That just shows you how powerful the media is. The media can, as Malcolm X said, make the guilty look innocent, the innocent look guilty, and control the minds of the masses. Most people are screaming at Claire Huxtable because she tweeted something, the actress who played her, and said something like pro Cosby, and she knows him. Everybody hating on her doesn't even know the guy, didn't even read the court case. I shouldn't even have to say my opinion because my opinion doesn't matter. What matters is the fact that over 94 to 95% of the population hasn't even read his court case. And I have a very politically motivated following. So if 94% of my following didn't read the court case, you could almost assume 96%, 97, 98, 99% of the population didn't read it either. So this is the sad part is like I've fallen victim for this when I was younger. Luckily, I came to my senses, but I was always pretty smart. But you don't realize how bad the media is. And even if you do, you still don't realize how bad the media is. So it's like you just go with these trends and you don't even know you're going with these trends. Like John Oliver says stuff, Stephen Colbert says stuff. I think I'm educated. And all I know, it's like I don't even know that they're controlling the bubble of what I see and I don't see. where it's like free Britney right now. Everybody like agrees on free Britney, but it's like, it's such a pop culture thing, like free Britney. You know, I agree with that. And people probably are more educated on her than Cosby, but there's just certain trends that stick and everybody just says the same thing and no one even questions it. But with the Cosby thing, I'll say this. And I'm not going to wait long enough. No offense. I'm not going to wait long enough to even see the answers, but I'll go back and look at them. You know, does anybody know exactly like what happened? Because if I listened to the media before I read the court case, here's what I was thinking. Bill Cosby, you know, drugged a lot of women, roofied them, you know, raped them. And I'm thinking like he's getting charged with like 100 women, 50 women, because there's all these like huge magazine articles. It's like this woman, this woman. I mean, there's all these women. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's not good. There's a lot of women on that cover, you know, and it's like, oh my God, he's roofing people, he's drugging people. So in my head, before I read the court case, I'm thinking they got him on 12 women, 15 women. They got proof that he slipped stuff in their drink, or they're all saying that. And that's not actually what the court case was at all. So all of the other stuff, it's like, you know, Kavanaugh style, where it's too far away to even be a real court case. So I think it's called statutes of limitation or something like that. But there was one that barely made the cut. It was a while ago, and it barely got back in because the new judge got in. And it was one woman who says she's lesbian now. You could look at a picture of her. I'm not saying all lesbians look the same, because that would be ignorant, but she does have a very Megan Rapinoe style vibe to her. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, go check out a picture of her. She's got that, like, you know, she's like, you know, she's going in to win the court case. But anyway, you know, the story is that, and this is the official story that they're both telling. She went over, she was chilling with him, and he handed her 3 pills. So this is a misconception that everyone has. I wasn't there. I'm not in the jury. I only know so much, but I know more than most because I actually read. You know, he gave her, according to him, a couple pills, 1 to 2. According to her, 3 pills. But there was no roofing as far as, oh, she didn't even know that she took the pills. He gave them to her and she took them, and she knowingly took them. So I'm going to get into the rest of the story, but this is something most people don't even know because they don't cover that in the headline. So there is no, he put them in a drink and she drank them and he didn't tell her. He gave them to her. He said, you know, take these. There's different stories of it. And she took them. She claims that they were herbal supplements. She didn't know what they were. He says that it's Benadryl. She says that it might have been roofies. It might have been Quaaludes. It could have been anything. But it was consensual. The fact that she took them, it's questionable whether they were that or not. And then he says that they had consensual, you know, a consensual sexual encounter. And she said that she didn't, that she was numb, that she couldn't move, and that he raped her. So first things first, I'm not saying what's right or wrong, but I am saying most people don't even know that. So there was no like put it in the drink. She's drinking. She doesn't know. She took the pills. She ate the pills. He says they were this. She says they were that. You know, and that's what it is. I'm going to read something from an article that I brought up because I have a few. This one says, let me see real quick. Oh no, did I mess up? And I might have took it down or whatever. But shoot, I had a good quote from it that was very fascinating. But anyway, so you know, she said they were blue pills, and then like the Quaaludes are big white pills. They're not even blue pills. If I was in the jury, I would have listened more and I would have learned even more than I know. But to me, the court case that the media painted was enormous, massive, damning, no question. The one that I read, and I read 10 different articles. I read 7 different stories. I read all these angles. I read the court cases. To me, it was not that strong of a case. But, you know, the public had already decided Cosby was guilty and he was a rapist. The media has already decided Cosby was guilty and Cosby was a rapist. So it was one of these cases where I figured he would go to jail because everybody thought he was a rapist. 90% of the population believed that it was true. And, you know, 90% of the population didn't even read it. So I was thinking then it was going to happen. But until I read the court case, I was like, this is not the story I thought it was. And to be honest, it's the same thing with the George Floyd situation. When I saw the knee on the neck, I'm thinking to myself, this is messed up. This is wrong. This cop is in the wrong. And there's, you know, I'm not saying that that's not true, but a month later, after everybody burned down 5 different cities, you know, the body cam footage comes out, and the body cam footage shows that he was so high on fentanyl that he didn't want to stay in the car. I was blown away. I was like, this guy had nothing to do with this. He was just completely murdered. And then I look at the footage and I'm like, well, that can't be good for him in court. I mean, obviously he's still going to probably the cop's going to be guilty because it's such a big court case and people would freak out and burn down the whole country if it wasn't. But, you know, I mean, like it wasn't like he just threw him on the ground, put his knee to his neck. It was like they tried to just peacefully put him in the car, but he was so high on fentanyl. If you watch the video footage, he's demanding to lay on the floor, and he's a huge guy. Does that mean he should have put the knee on the neck? I'm not saying that. I don't know. I've heard from cops that that's a standard procedure. I've heard from many cops that that's wrong and messed up what he did, and he shouldn't have done that. But to me, is that a totally different story? One story where the guy just throws him on the ground, puts a knee in his neck and kills him, versus a guy that was so high on fentanyl that he literally couldn't sit still in the car because he was bugging out and he asked to lay on the ground, and then that happened. Of course, that's a different story. Does that mean it's right or wrong? I'm not saying that, but these are totally, you know, what I perceived it to be versus what it really was. That should matter for something. And in the court of opinion, they should have went through everything and said, okay, well, this is what it really is. And that's the same thing with Cosby. I'm not saying he's guilty. I'm not saying he's innocent. I wasn't there. I'll never know the truth of what happened. But to me, the media painted it as something that was just open shut, like not even questionable. So many people slipping things in drinks without their knowledge. The court case was nothing like that. And, you know, I think it was similar to a Derek Chauvin thing where it's like it got so big where it's like, what are you going to let this guy off the hook and freak out America? And that just shows the power of the media. So, you know, with Cosby, I would love to hear more of it. I definitely read more than most, but it's unpopular because people just simply don't read. And if they do, you know, they just go along with the narrative. But I think there's a case to be had for both. I just see what they're doing on a big scale outside of Cosby and Chauvin. What the media wants to do and what the Me Too movement wants to do, of course, I am for, like, there's sicko guys out there that are like raping little kids and stuff. Somehow there's never that much talk about these people. Like there's people that are like raping babies and raping children. And somehow that doesn't make the media narrative. I wonder why. But in general, it's like I'm against any sort of wickedness, any sort of rape, whether it's someone older or younger, especially when it's like a child that doesn't even have a say. But in general, it's all messed up. However, when the Me Too movement came out, they were using that type of stuff, which is very real, in my opinion, to push this narrative where, one, the media gets to decide. Yeah, it might be like Brett Kavanaugh. It might be outside of the statutes of limitation. There might be fishy evidence. It might be like with the Kavanaugh, you know, her friends were like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I mean, the evidence in that one was piss poor, way worse than Cosby. And it wasn't even in the statutes of limitation, but the media said he's guilty. So everybody wanted to say he's guilty. The media is trying to take over the courts. If we don't have a court system, we don't have a country. If we don't have a First Amendment, we're not free. That's why we're not free. They're taking away our amendments. They're taking our way to a right to a fair trial. They're taking away our freedom of speech. They want to take it all away. And they're using the Me Too movement and this media manipulation of narratives to say, it doesn't matter what the evidence says. It doesn't matter what really happened. It doesn't matter who's wrong. It doesn't matter if she lies. You must believe every woman that we tell you to. Of course, millions of women lie. Of course, there's millions of court cases a year where men lie, women lie. Like, everybody's not honest. You're supposed to look at the evidence, you know, the evidence, the witnesses. That's how. So if you can decide someone's guilty or innocent, whether it's someone as unpopular as now Bill Cosby or Derek Chauvin or, you know, Brett Kavanaugh, then they can do it to you. It's just like what Tucker Carlson said. I don't know if he's really being spied on or not. I think eventually he needs to show proof with that big of a claim. But, you know, if they could do it to him, they could do it to you. They start with somebody like that. And, you know, I just find it very interesting. And I also find it very interesting that, you know, Bill Cosby was like one of, I'm not going to say the only, but the most prominent conservative father figure in America. He never bought into this rap culture. And I'm a rapper, so I'm not trying to be rude, but like, you know, when rap started out, it was just like beatboxing, dancing, good vibes. Like, then the industry got influenced and they basically told a lot of these black MCs, like, you should start sounding like NWA. You should start rapping about murder and guns. That wasn't always how hip hop was. I'm sorry. It was much more eloquent and much more uplifting. And all of a sudden, rap culture becomes into this degenerate culture where it's hurting people. In Chicago, one of the main influences is the culture that these kids have taken from this like trap music. But and I'm a rapper. I'm not trying to slam rap music. I love rap music. But, you know, Bill Cosby was one of the biggest opponents of that. He was one of the only major black figures that said, pull your pants up, you know, pull your pants up, act normally, like, stop saying the N-word, like, you know, act like a man, act like a smart person, or else you're going to get played. So and he also, I believe at one point he tried to buy a whole news station, NBC News. I'm not saying that had anything to do with it. I just find it shocking that anybody who ever challenges the system, all of a sudden they're a rapist. Michael Jackson, obviously a strange character, so it's not hard to figure out how people came up with that theory. But in general, it's like Michael Jackson owned the Beatles. You know, he owned some of the best royalties in music. If you own the Beatles royalties, I mean, that's like a top 5 purchase. How did he do that? He was a really good businessman. So, you know, he started beefing with the ethnic group who controls a lot of this stuff. I'm not going to say the word because I'm not trying to get banned on an anti-Semitic offense. But if you catch my drift, you know, Michael Jackson had a big spat and said, you know, he wrote rap lyrics that they considered or music lyrics that they considered anti-Semitic. He started speaking out against the record label, calling people like devils and stuff. So I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying I find it interesting that everybody who really owns a huge piece of like media property and really bucks the system, you know, all of a sudden, you know, they get smeared by the media. And I guess I might as well just keep going while I'm saying unpopular things. I think Michael Jackson was very strange, just like he's got that complex of like he was a kid. He never had a childhood. Like he liked to hang around kids. I think it's a little weird. I'm not going to lie. I would be open. But if you watch a counter argument to the documentary, I think it's very revealing. A lot of this stuff, they're dramatizing. They have music, like Oprah's behind the documentary, and everyone's like, oh my God, that's settled science. And then you listen to the counter, and some of these kids, like Michael Jackson, not only wasn't like keeping them away from women. One of the kids in the story, if you look it up, he actually dated Michael Jackson's female cousin. Michael Jackson set him up with the female cousin, and then this kid cheated on Michael Jackson's female cousin with Britney Spears. You know, so it's like not only did Michael Jackson not keep him away with women, Michael Jackson hooked him up with his own cousin, and then this kid cheated on him with Britney Spears. So it's like, you know, I just find it very shocking that the media, you know, powers that be come down really hard on certain people. I get that he's weird. I get that, you know, I think, you know, Bill Cosby was wilding out a little too much with the pudding pops. But in general, the core evidence there that did not match what the media said one way or another, whether he really did it or not. I don't think it's the case that people thought it was. And I know it's not going to be popular, but I don't really care. That's how I feel. And I read and I do my research, and I don't just say things that to be trendy like other people. So it doesn't really affect me. So, you know, God bless any victims of stuff going on. God bless the truth. And that's what I think. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. It's an interesting world we live in where the truth doesn't matter. You don't have free speech anymore. They could shut down your business whenever, you know, they want to without your thing. They could shut off your power and water in Los Angeles. They can decide you're guilty before you ever get to the court case, and people will threaten to burn down multiple cities if it doesn't happen, despite what the evidence says. That's not a good country to live in. So these type of stories are way bigger, and it's a bigger picture than what's really going on. But let me know what you guys think. I'm going to read some comments, and you know, that's just my take. I don't know everything about it. I don't claim to, but that's a perspective that you probably won't see very other places. Republicans and liberals will probably just say whatever. Dimitri said one time for the pudding pops. Pudding pops will never be the same, though. I'm not gonna lie. They will never be the same. Someone said we need Law and Order Trump back. I think we need actual law and order, not somebody who tweets law and order and doesn't actually do it, but whatever. Someone said, I loved MJ. He got wrecked by the media. I think there's something there with people like him and Lil Wayne where they never had a childhood. So they're a little weird. But yeah, I honestly, I think he got a raw end of the deal as well, to be quite fair. And, you know, I think the hype around that and the branding around that doesn't match the facts, but whatever. Someone says this, why would a parent allow their kids to stay the night with a man who isn't a trusted family member? These are valid opinions, Karen. I totally agree with you. It's similar to the, you know, there's a certain level of like, you know, what are you doing? What's the parent doing? I don't disagree with you. I think it's strange, but if you do trust somebody, I don't know. How much do you trust somebody? I guess that's what it is. They trusted him like a family member, whether that was right or wrong. That's for, you know, that's for God to decide and people who know the situation, but that's the whole thing. I'll give you an example, like with the Louis. I feel like just saying unpopular things today, not purposely. This just comes to mind. Louis C.K., you know, he got bopped. He's a comedian. he got bought because he had a kink to like, play with himself in front of girls. And listen, it's not my thing, but it wasn't unconsensual where they would come over late at night and he would ask to do it and they would say yes or no. Is that good? I don't know that that's good. I guess he could join Pride Month and brag about it for a month, or he could self-reflect and figure out if that's how he wants to be. But anyway, I was thinking to myself, like, I'm a man, okay? I'm not a woman. I don't claim to be a woman. Luckily for you guys, I don't. And, I live a different life than a woman, and God bless women. If anybody told me to go to their, I'm a comedian, Anomaly, come to my room at 1 a.m. Like I wouldn't even go for a guy CEO. So it's like at a certain point, like with the mom of MJ, it's like, yeah, I mean, why would you send your kid there? I mean, maybe you really trust Michael and you know him, but as a parent, that's you got to be a little more self-aware if you do think something weird's going on. And it's the same thing with a woman. I mean, I'm sorry, but Louis C.K., he might not be your favorite bachelor, but he's trying to get laid sometimes too. So if he invites you over at 1 a.m., you should probably know he's trying to have, I'm not saying I don't invite anybody over at 1 a.m. The last time I invited someone over at 1 a.m. was probably years ago, because I'm not like a teenager and I'm not trying to just like rail people on a weekly basis. But anyway, it's like, it's like if the opposite sex invites you over at 1 a.m., you think you're getting a Comedy Central special? Like, give me a break. I'm not trying to be mean, but like Hollywood, they're like, I lived in Hollywood. Oh, we're the most right. These are like the worst people. No offense. There's a lot of great people in LA. Most women who go to LA, they want to be famous. They want to be rich. Where are these women with these morals in Los Angeles? I was there for 7 years. I couldn't find very many. Maybe it's my own fault. Everybody there's looking to get up. They're willing to do anything, hang out with this crowd, impress this person. So you're telling me you're going to Louis C.K.'s bedroom at 1 a.m. because you think you're getting a Comedy Central special? Give me a break. I wouldn't even go if an executive for Sony said, come to my room at 1 a.m. It's like, are you trying to have sex with me? Like, even if it's a guy or a girl, like, no, I'll pass. I'll meet you in the daytime in the lobby. And that's the same thing with Harvey Weinstein too. I'm not defending Harvey Weinstein. I've heard terrible things, but people are going to his room. I mean, why? What are you doing? If you don't trust somebody and they're a creepo, why are you going to their room? I'm not saying he's innocent, but like, are you joking? Oh, I'm showering. Just come over. Well, I want the gig. Of course you do. So you're willing to do that for the gig. And just to be fair, this is what the woman for the Bill Cosby in the article I was reading, she said, oh, I just went along with it because I thought it would affect my work. You took pills at Bill Cosby's house because you thought it would affect your work? If you can't not take pills with somebody that's going to affect your work, like that's on you. Like I've worked in situations where I could lose my job. I'm not over their house taking pills. Like you don't have to go to their house and take pills. They're not going to fire you if you don't take the pills. You could say no, and if they do something, then you could call them a scumbag. I mean, this is like self-accountability 101. So there's so many frauds out there where it's like, yeah, I'm sure Louis C.K. is a sexual deviant, but if you're going to his room at 1 a.m. acting like you're getting a comedy special, you're lying to yourself or you're lying to everyone else. And if you're outside of Harvey Weinstein's room while he's showering saying, I just wanted the gig. Yeah. So what will you do for the gig? That's Hollywood. How hard will you sell your soul? Will you hang out with Harvey Weinstein while he's showering? Will you do this? Will you do that? These people will do anything. Guess what? It took me 10 years to get where I'm at. Why? Because I didn't want to sit in hotel rooms while people were showering. But I made that choice. I decided to be broke for a few years, work my ass off, and now I work for myself and I don't have to be at hotel rooms with people, but it's like certain people, yeah, I get everybody's desperate, but I was broke. I was broke for like most of my adult life. I had no money. I had no car. I took the bus and the train to work, but that's a decision. Like, do you want to hustle or do you want to sell your soul? And all of Hollywood, most of them sell their soul. They know what they're doing is not right, but they do it for the money. So after they get all the money, 15 years later, now they're like, yeah, I sold my soul, but I probably shouldn't have, and it's their fault. It's like, yeah, it's their fault, but it's also your fault. But, it's like these are not the most moral people in Los Angeles that are seeking comedy careers. Most of them are so desperate. They're so desperate to be famous. They're so desperate to be popular. They're so desperate to be rich that they'll do immoral things to get there. So yes, some of these people are weirdos, but yeah, who's the mom? Who's the parent? Who's the person? Like I'm 31 years old. I'm a man. I'm 6'3". I'm pretty strong. You're not going to catch me going to a hotel room of a comedy executive at 1 a.m., guy or girl. I'm going to assume they're trying to have sex with me because I look good on the live stream. No, I'm just kidding. But in general, I'm going to assume they'll have sex with me, and I'm going to decline. I'm going to be like, I don't want to. Let's meet tomorrow in the lobby. And if they say no, then it's a no. Then they're a scumbag and you can't work with them. Is that the only job you can get? Oh, well, the only way I could get in the comedy, I think there was a joke, I think it was Chappelle. If that's the only way you could get into the comedy industry, maybe you're not built for comedy. Everyone got mad at Chappelle, but it's like, you're damn right. Like, it's like there definitely are gatekeepers, but it's like, do you have morals? Do you want to work hard, or do you want to just act like you're completely unaware? Like, who invites people to their hotel room at 1 a.m.? I can guarantee you, if I ever invite you to my hotel room at 1 a.m., it's not to give you a gig. And I would never say that I would do that. I don't use work to do that. I'm not like, oh, I'm going to get you a job. Come over to my house. Like, I'm not promising anybody anything. Like, if you're a woman and you're attractive and you're into me and I'm into you, I'm not going to be like, oh, there's a job over here at 1 a.m. Like, not, like, it is what it is. But I don't really do that anymore because I'm not like a 20-year-old anymore. But in general, unbelievable. I had something else unpopular to say, but thank God I forgot it because I was going to get myself in trouble. Oh, I remember. Okay. This is not going to be right. Listen. I'm not defending this person. I think they're a creepo. I think they're a weirdo. But there's this other thing going on in the Me Too movement that I don't have to deal with, but I do have sympathy for people who are fat and ugly who do have to deal with it. Now, I'm not acting like I'm not great or anything. I'm just saying, like, they're like, with certain people, they're like, they use their job to get women. It's like, well, look at that person. You think they're, no offense, but like, you think they're using their sexual appeal to get women? Like, some of these people look like, popped pimples. Like, so I'm not trying to be mean, but it's like, they don't have a face like Brad Pitt and they don't have a body like Aquaman. So, well, how are they going to get women? Their money and their job. I'm not saying it's moral or right. It's just like, what do you expect? They're like, he used his position to get women. It's like, he's not using his face. He's not using his stomach. And he's certainly not using his stature or height, so what else is he possibly going to use? I don't know. Like, it's not a problem I have to deal with, luckily. But I do have sympathy for people that do. It's like, yeah, that dude's disgusting. Like, I mean, I wish he had a wife, but if he doesn't, like, eventually someone's going to want to, I don't know. Like, hopefully his personality is really good because women definitely like personality and stature, but yeah, it's like, oh my God, he used his job to get women. Like, duh, look at him. He's disgusting. I'm not saying that's right, but these women act like they're oblivious. Like, oh my God, I'm just going to watch him in his hotel room and hopefully he'll give me the part. How bad do you want the part? If they told me, Anomaly, I would give you $10 million to get forced inoculation and watch me shower, I wouldn't do it. Do you think I want $10 million? Duh. I mean, it would be nice to have savings so I wouldn't go broke when I'm older, but I actually have morals. I would turn down millions of dollars for something that I wasn't comfortable with. If you wouldn't, I mean, what does that say about you? Are there screwed up guys out there? Of course. But is it a one-way operation 100% of the time? Give me a break. Someone said my stomach hurts. I'm laughing so hard at the moment. I mean, I don't care. I'm so tired of everybody being fake. You're never going to see me on a Marjorie Taylor Greene, memorial tour. It's like, or doing Nick Cannon book reports. Like, no, I'm not sorry. I'm sorry for things I did wrong. I'm not sorry for the funny things I said that were right. Okay. I'm not going on I need to read Barry Weiss's book on anti-Semitism. Like, no, you don't. You talked about the Rothschilds and somebody powerful at Viacom or one of these big corporations told you to shut up because that group of people has a lot of power. So you shut up, oh my God, it's not, yeah, you need to go on a tour, a world tour to say how sorry you are. You're not sorry. You just don't want to lose the money. Marjorie Taylor Greene doesn't want to get kicked out of the Zionist Republican Party. So she bowed down. I get it. I'm just not built like that. So, I'm flying high or sinking low wherever this life takes me. We'll see. How far can authenticity take you without bending the knee? Let's do an experiment. So far, so good. Someone said Bill Cosby was an Epstein type character. Listen, he may have been. I'm not telling people that he's the greatest person in the world. I'm just talking, if I was on the jury and I'm reading the case, if you could show proof and evidence, listen, there's nothing wrong with that. Because I think there are people who are doing like Epstein level stuff, but I don't know anything about that. I'm just saying, they say, I'm just saying that. Feel free to interject with anything you know. Someone said, Anomaly, you're my favorite comedy. Appreciate it. Hip hop artist, new comedian. Someone said, hit the gym, Anomaly. I broke my thumb, Chief. It's taken a while, but I am going to get jacked again. Now that you're pissing me off, I'm going to get jacked. Okay, let's hold up. I can lift weights now, but it's been a while, bro. So I haven't lifted in like a month. So this is my left arm. This is my strong arm. It's weak now because I haven't been able to lift because my thumb is broken and displaced. But you got me hyped. I'm going to be more jacked than ever once my thumb fully heals. But thank you for the motivation. See, that's why we got to bring back shaming. Bring back shaming in this world. They say, oh my God, don't shame. It's like, I say, if I'm not strong enough, shame me, and then I'll get stronger. People want to shame you for going to the gym and shame you for running your business, but you're not allowed to tell somebody that it might be a good idea to lose a few, whatever. I'm just saying. All right. I don't want to hurt my thumb, but I'm being conservative for a month. It's been almost a month. 6 weeks. I did therapy today. I'm stretching. I'm doing wax. I'm trying to dunk again. So let's calm down. Have I listened to Terrence McKenna? Thoughts? Terrence McKenna's the LSD guy. Probably not, since I was like in high school. Yeah, like that was a good time to be listening to that. But I'll check it out. I know he's the LSD guy. I don't know much about him though, besides that. Someone said, run across the camera again. I am one of the fastest newscasters alive, but no, I don't want to sprain an ankle. Everybody's getting injured, so I don't want to go there. Am I a lefty? I am a lefty. Someone said, be careful, wait for doctors. I'm careful. Trust me, I'm as cool as a cucumber. I'm as careful as a cucumber. Joseph said, calm down, essay. You're right. Listen, he's saying work out. He's saying stay calm. You can't please everyone. Someone said Biden will run with Charles Manson next term. I think Charles Manson's dead. Let me look. I'm pretty sure he died in prison. Let me see. Let me see. Charles Manson. Let's see. Charles Manson. I think I should talk about Charles Manson just to make this stream more controversial. Yeah, Charles Manson's dead. But if you want to listen to an interesting interview, try to find Charles Manson's jail interviews. The guy is fascinating. I'm not saying more about it, but I'm just saying he's an interesting character. Have you ever seen him dance? People put music on it. It's wild. But that guy's, in my opinion, worth a listen. He's crazy, but he's definitely interesting. I had to add that in there as if this wasn't bad enough, this stream. Yeah, he's dead. Someone said Trump's at the border. Yeah, he's at the border with Governor Abbott. Governor Roger Abbott. Roger Rabbit. Get it? All right. That's enough comedy for today. Let's calm down. Someone said, yo, I didn't know Dave Rubin was gay. I was watching him the other day, and I did think this is a little too spiffy. That's really funny. That's really funny. Yeah, no, he's gay. Yeah, he doesn't act like it. And it's not like an act, but some people are so flamboyant where it's like, speaking of flamboyant, did you see there's this picture of what's his name? Bill de Blasio or William Wilhelm or whatever his real fake name is, whatever. Bill de Blasio, he has this hat on and this goofy shirt. I was going to make a joke yesterday because he looked like Elton John. And I was like, he looks like a gayer version of Elton John, except without any talent and less like stylistic. I was going to make that joke. And I was saying, like, is this hate speech? I think that's a funny joke. I'm like, you look like a gayer version of Elton John without talent or style. But then I'm thinking to myself, like, I'll wait till the live stream. But shout out Elton John. That's a talented sodomite. Same with what's his name? Freddie Mercury. I always bring up Queen because it's like if you actually aren't annoying, nobody cares. Like Freddie, who's gonna tell Freddie Mercury to shut up that he can't sing? He's so good, everybody wants to go to his concert. Did they care he was gay? I don't think that many people cared. Why? Because he wasn't just crying on Twitter and talking about the sexualization of children. He was making some of the best songs of the 21st century. So, that's he's like in my ideas, an icon because he didn't just cry on Twitter. Thank God. Dante's Guide said, would you twerk on an ambulance? Would I twerk on an ambulance? I'm going to have to say no, I would not. But, I'll think about it. Watch Geraldo Rivera's interview. Who interviewing who? Because I don't really like Geraldo. I don't hate him as a person. I just find him very fake, but it's okay. All right, let's make this stream more unpopular. All right, so there's this. I was gonna do a whole video on it maybe, but I don't know if I have time. There's this. I think he's gay. I don't know. He's some like London YouTuber, and he's transracial now, right? Okay, so he's transracial, and he's messing with his eyes, and he says, I'm Korean. I've always felt Korean inside, and now I'm Korean outside. I'm a transracial. And everyone's freaking out. And I don't know if he's trolling or he's serious. It's hard to tell the difference now. But he's retweeting Paul Joseph Watson. He's retweeting Ben Shapiro. He's like a right-wing gay guy who's transracial. I can't tell if he's trolling or he's dead serious, but he's like right-wing. I find it hilarious because like it's an interesting conversation where it's like, okay, what does it mean to be transgender in the eyes of the left? You were born in the wrong body and you want to change genders. Okay, what's transracial? You were born in the wrong body and you want to change genders. My genetics say that I'm chromosome-wise a male, but I'm a female. Well, my gender says, my genetics say that I'm white and Puerto Rican, but I feel like I'm Korean. So it is kind of the same. And I think it's a pretty funny, obviously it's pretty like degenerate step for society to go, but I do find it interesting that he took that route to be transracial. I think it's the next level of like, yeah, eventually like, yeah, I guess why not? And I want to shout out while we're doing everything unpopular and funny, I want to shout out the original trailblazers of transracialism. The first one on my mind, but not the very first, but the first one people think of is Rachel Dolezal. She's a white woman who pretended to be black, was like the head of NCAACP or one of these black organizations. I'm not sure. And then they found out she was white and she was just like curling her hair to look black. And it's pretty funny. And she did a documentary and she feels black and she was raised around black people. So she just decided she was black. People thought that was crazy, but I've always said she was ahead of her time. Transracialism, she's thinking futuristic stuff. On that note, in my opinion, the real founder of transracialism, unless people could find someone before this, is actually Whoopi Goldberg. People don't know this, but I find it the funniest Wikipedia. I bring it up all the time because I find it fascinating and it's just hilarious to me. Whoopi Goldberg, her real name is Karen Elaine Johnson. This is all on Wikipedia. I'm not doxing her. It's public knowledge. Her name's not Whoopi Goldberg. Her name's not Whoopi or Goldberg. I get it, like Anomaly. She's just choosing a name. But her name's Karen Elaine Johnson. And she's saying she's Jewish, but, the facts say that she's not Jewish, which in my opinion is a very good way to make friends in Hollywood. So her transracialism to Jewish is genius. She's way ahead of her time. They're like, what's your name? Like, are you Johnson? She's like, oh no, I'm Goldberg. We're all just Bergs here, just us Jewish people hanging out, making movies. And they're like, she's like, you know how we do. We're making movies, we're directing, bar mitzvahs, and they're like looking and they're like, you're Jewish? And she's like, yeah, Whoopi Goldberg. Of course I'm Jewish. My name's Goldberg. And they're like, are you sure? I'm not trying to be racist, but like, are you sure you're Jewish? Like mom or dad? Yeah, no, like ancestors. Yeah, for sure. Like, like Mashiach, we want Mashiach now, like just all of us together, like, hanging out, just straight Judaism here. It's crazy in Los Angeles. in Los Angeles. No, but all jokes aside, I'm gonna read Whoopi Goldberg's Wikipedia because it's seriously the funniest thing I've ever read in my life. This is straight off Wikipedia. It says about her stage surname, she claimed in 2011, my mother did not name me Whoopi, but Goldberg is my name. It's part of my family, part of my heritage, just like being black. I know I'm Jewish. I practice nothing. I don't go to temple, but I do remember the holidays. She has stated that people would say, come on, are you Jewish? And always would ask me if I was white. I bet not. Or no, she said, would you ask me if I was white? I bet not. One account recalls that her mother, Emma Johnson, thought the family's original surname was not Jewish enough for her daughter to become a star. So she said she was Jewish, but her name wasn't Jewish enough to become a star, so they called it Goldberg. All right, this is the funniest part. I'm sorry. This is not hate speech. It's just plain comedy. And this I didn't make this up. This is on Wikipedia. It says researcher Henry Louis Gates Jr. found that of all of Goldberg's traceable ancestors were African Americans, that she had no German or Jewish ancestry, and that none of her ancestors were named Goldberg. Results of a DNA test revealed in a 2006 PBS documentary, African American Lives, traced part of her ancestry to the Papua and Bayot people of modern-day Guinea-Bissau. Her admixture test indicated that she was 92% sub-Saharan African and origin and 8% European origin. That's hilarious. I'm sorry. She's like, that's my name. And her mom's like, it's not really our name. We just changed it to that to sound more Jewish. She's like, yeah, but my ancestor. And then they did a test and they found no Jewish. I'm sorry. That's epic transracialism decades ago. Listen, I look Jewish. People think I'm Jewish all the time because I have a big nose, but that comes from my Italian heritage. Thank you for noticing. But, Italians also have large noses to breathe in all the air. No, I'm just kidding. But in general, people often say, you're Jewish, you're Jewish, you're Jewish, especially when I go to the further right wing. They just call everybody Jews, literally. Like I'll be on one of these right wing streams that's like further right wing. And it's literally just the audience being like, he's a Jew, he's a Jew. And it's like, bro, you guys got to calm down. This is why people think everyone's anti-Semitic, because you guys are just bugging out about everybody. But anyway, people think I am, so I should maybe just identify as Jewish because it worked out for Whoopi. Maybe it could be the next step of my career. I don't know. Maybe could see me on TV, but no, I'm just kidding. It's all good. Shout out to all the ethnicities of the world. I don't feel the need to change mine or pretend to be something I'm not in order to get it. If this doesn't work for me, I don't want to disrespect my ancestors. They came from Poland, Italy, Czechoslovakia, and Puerto Rico. So bless up, bless up. Anomaly Goldberg, it has a nice ring to it. It definitely has a nice ring to it. Like Anomaly Goldberg, it's very trendy, and they could use another rapper. Like Mattis Yahoo was dope, but then he turned more liberal. Liberals even ruins the Hasidic community. I don't know exactly what they're doing, but Mattis Yahoo, he had this dope beard. If you don't know, he's a hip hop artist, a Jewish guy. Dope beard. He's wearing a top hat. He's dressed in all black. He looks like he looks like a Don Dada. He's dressed in a suit. He's out there just crushing it with King Without a Crown. We want Mashiach now. And he's beatboxing and his career is blossoming. And then he just went full liberal, cut off all his stuff. And now he just looks like a little boy. No offense. Listen, everybody deserves to look how they want. But it's like, the Hasidic vibe was crushing it. And now he just, it's like he went full liberal. And it's like, I'm waiting for the next King Without a Crown. But it's all good. It's all love. If he's a great guy. He deserves to shave off his hair. A lot of people, we miss the vibe. But the point I was getting to is there needs to be another, that's not true. I think there's actually a lot of Jewish rappers. Mac Miller is Jewish. Dave, what's his name? The guy who has the comedy show. He's really funny. Whatever. Andy Samberg can rap pretty well. He's a comedian, but he's pretty good at rapping for a comedian. You get it. I might pull a Whoopi. Listen, I might pull a Whoopi. It's getting tough out here for someone who looks like me. It's time to switch up the ethnicity. Maybe I'll put something in a jar, shake it up, pick one out, and then that's my new ethnicity. I don't know. I like the idea of transracialism. It's a way to connect with my brothers and sisters of other communities. I've always felt like I connected with this community. So it's time to just fully be myself. I've been Caitlyn Jennering myself for a long time. I've always felt Black and Jewish. I just didn't want to say it because I didn't feel comfortable. You get what I'm saying? There's a lot of anti-Semitism. There's a lot of racism. There's a lot of, Trump supporters, MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. I didn't feel comfortable my whole life. I'm going to wait till I'm like 60 years old and I'm going to be Black and Jewish like Jussie Smollett. And, it's just how I felt for a while. I just didn't feel like it was the right time because it's not popular. I'm so ahead of my time. People don't even know what transracialism is. They don't even fully understand it. So I'm letting you guys know that I feel this way. And eventually I'm going to come out of the transracial closet, identify as Black and Jewish, hang out with Jussie Smollett, Bubba Wallace, and hopefully star in a Steven Spielberg documentary. A man can dream. It is inspirational. I don't like to pat myself on the back, but I feel like I am an inspiration for so many people who felt the same way. Do I want reparations? I do. I want multiple reparations. I want World War II reparations, and I want slavery reparations, and I want media reparations. I'll take COVID-19 reparations too. I lost quite a bit of money through the censorship of COVID-19. So, do I feel like I deserve reparations? I do. I mean, you don't have to agree with it. You can say, well, you were no, you don't understand how I feel though. You feel like that, but I feel like if I walk into a spa, it's really up to me. It's not up to the people. There's these. I'm thinking to myself, you don't know me. If I want to walk left, I walk left. If I want to go in the right locker room, I walk right. This is not for the white man to decide which way I walk. I walk where I walk. Okay. I have thousands of years of oppressed heritage that, I'm finally getting in touch with. And it feels great. You can feel the energy today. It's so much more positive. There's no complaining about Trump. There's no complaining about Biden. There's no complaining about COVID. COVID doesn't even exist in my world anymore because I'm Black and Jewish. So feels good. Not gonna lie. Feels very good. Someone said I'm trans Republican, and that's respectable. Like as a Black Jew, I don't agree with it, but I'll respect your decision to do that because I lean more liberal now. I'm sorry. I feel more in touch with the BLM sort of thing, gets my gears going. So, but I get it. I get the Republican thing. It's just not for me. Talino said reparations, you're better than that. I guess you didn't get the whole joke part of it, but it's all good. I'm going to read this. Big Pie, trying to ruin the good vibes. I'll read it anyway because that's what this show's about. Someone said, anomalies attracting a lot of socialist buy dumb supporters. Buy dumb, that's funny. Because of slamming Trump, that's why there's hundreds of people in this chat instead of thousands when he supported Trump. Well, no, I have over 1,000, but my YouTube was never that big, to be honest. My Facebook's bigger. My Instagram is enormous right now. It's bigger than ever. So I wouldn't say my YouTube was never that big. My Facebook has lowered for other reasons, but my Instagram's doing better than ever. So I'm not seeing like a huge decline in my views or anything. But it's, if you want more people to vote Republican, you should be grateful that they're following me. But I don't think that's an accurate thing, but it's okay. I only have 5 minutes left because I got to go live on Facebook. If you're a Facebook supporter, 5:00 p.m. Western time, 8 p.m. Eastern time, 8:05 anomaly time, because I'm always slow. Anomaly people time. I'm always behind a little bit, but I won't be today, hopefully. I'm going to be live for Facebook supporters. If you're on Facebook and you want to be a supporter, click the supporter thing. I don't know where it is, but you can find it. And we do once a month, we have a private live stream. There's probably going to be 20 to 50, 60 people there. It's a good time. If you're into that, if you're not, I'll be back. But that's what it is. Richard said new COVID variant Delta. Oh yeah, Alpha, Delta, Beta. It's the variants, man. They're, Fauci said there's 2 Americas. I mean, these people are just unbelievable. If you want to see a good thread on my Twitter, which tends to be very annoying because I just can't stop typing. I don't know what it is. I have a whole thread of this Mike Wallace report from the 1900s. I don't know what year, 70s, 80s, 90s, where nearly the exact same thing that's happening now happened then with the influenza vaccine. A very similar situation. So check that out, because that says a lot. Someone said you're addicted. I wouldn't say I'm addicted, but there's certain times when I can't do other things. I'm just on Twitter. I'm not that bad anymore. Like certain times I can't, for 2-3 days, I couldn't really talk, unfortunately. And then I couldn't talk. I literally couldn't talk. So I was just tweeting, it's a bad habit, but whatever. It is on Facebook. Yeah. Did I not say Facebook? Facebook live stream, 5 p.m. supporters only. If you're not a supporter, you don't get it. And I'll tell you what, if you do want to be a supporter, I have a code. Every supporter on Facebook who does the thing, you're getting a 3-pack of free stickers. There's one that says, have a good day with my face on it. There's one that says, God bless. There's one that says, is thinking illegal yet? And they're vinyl stickers, high quality stickers. I'm giving all my patreon.com/raretalk. Everybody gets a free 3-pack of stickers. Facebook supporters, everybody gets a free 3-pack of stickers. If you buy 2 or more items from dreamrare.com, you get 1 sticker. Sorry, just 1 for you. Sorry, you're not a supporter, you're not a Patreon, 1 sticker for you. Here's the kicker. If you buy 3 or more things of anything, you get a 3-pack of stickers for free. I'm like Oprah, but with stickers. Facebook supporters, 3-pack of free stickers. Patreon supporters, 3-pack of free stickers. 2 purchases or more, 1 sticker. 3 purchases or more, 2 stickers. That's hard to say. It's a lot of different things. But the code is going to, at the live stream today, I'm going to give out the code and I'm going to post it. So get your pack of stickers. I have a merch guy. We have a warehouse. He's shipping. He's buying. I'm buying. I'm not shipping, but he's shipping. You get it. We got it under control now. Now we build. Now we grow. It took a while. I got it. I got things in a warehouse. Now we start dishing out stickers. Now we look into USA made mugs, but they're hard to find. Now I might drop a soap line. You might mess around. I might do something else. I might drop a whole new product you didn't even know you wanted. And, so we're getting there, but it's a slow process. Stickers for now, free stickers, Patreon, free stickers, Facebook supporters, free stickers. It's been a long time coming. You supported for a while and I didn't know what I was doing. Now, scary thought. I know what I'm doing. Stickers. And you could buy them. They're $7.77. You could buy them on the website too. Someone said, you ain't Oprah. Oprah lies. I'm identifying as Oprah, just like Whoopi Goldberg identified as Nevermind. I don't understand. I got to leave in like literally a minute or two, but that's the thing about any ethnicity, any sexuality. Like, I don't understand why people think they're above being joked about. I see grown men in the Liberal Party and the Republican Party. I swear some of these Republicans I follow that I like are the worst. I like them, but it's like, grow up. They're grown men crying hate speech. Oh my God, that's so bad. Oh my God, I can't believe he said that. I'm like, are you going to act like you don't have conversations behind closed doors that aren't like edgy ever? You've never told a funny joke. When I was in middle school, I'm not saying this just to act like I'm a freaking, automobile commercial where everything's multi-ethnic. They're like, everything's like they over pump it. It's like they always have to have every ethnicity in every commercial. It's like, that's fine. But like, there's like an Asian guy in the back. And I'm like, he didn't need to be there. You just wanted to like fill your quota. Anyway, my bus, I had a Jewish friend. I had a black friend. I had an Asian friend. I had an Indian friend, like in Indian. And we used to make jokes and have fun. And the word racist didn't even exist to us because we knew there was no hate behind it. And if somebody was hateful, they're just a hateful person. You don't have to complicate it. They suck. They're always going to suck. It doesn't matter if they're talking about race. It doesn't matter if they're talking about soccer. They suck. So there was no complications. I used to say funnier stuff and edgier stuff when I was in 6th grade. And I have 50-year-old liberals and conservatives like, oh my God, that joke was anti-Semitic and racist and xenophobic. And it's like, I'm like, are you guys kidding me? Like, what is a joke? A joke is making fun of something. You can't make fun of gay people. You can make fun of everything, but not gay people. Oh my God, that's a homophobic joke. It's not a joke if you don't say anything. What's the punchline if you can't talk about it? Like, gay people can be made fun of just like straight people can be made fun of. Black people can be made fun of just like white people. If you can't make fun of white people, it's not funny. Just make sure it's funny. If it's not funny, It's not a good joke. Go back to the drawing board. Like, they act like you can't joke about gay people or Jewish people or black. It's like, okay, then let's just stop having fun then. I don't know. I see like Republicans crying anti-Semitism, liberals crying homophobia and racism. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, this isn't even as crazy as what we used to say in 7th grade, and there was no hate behind it. It's just like a funny joke. It's pathetic, but yeah, I can't believe that grown men are acting like this. I'm like, are you serious? I love comedy. I love going to like the Comedy Store. What do you think comedy is? And I warned conservatives about this when that lady made fun of abortion. Were her jokes amazing? No, she's not that funny. But, you got to watch what you're saying, because they're like, oh, she can't joke about abortion. I don't agree with her joke. I don't agree with the punchline. But if you say you can't joke about abortion, they're going to say you can't joke about Jewish people. They're going to say you can't joke about gay people. They're going to say you can't joke about transgender. Now you can't joke about anything. So you got to watch yourself as a Christian. Do you have to morally agree with what they're saying? No, but I mean, if you want the speech law, I get it, I guess. But I'm like, I saw Christians be like, you can't joke about that. I'm like, that's a very fine line, because what is comedy? If you can't joke about a serious subject, there is no comedy. A lot of comedy is about serious subjects. You take something that's super messed up, no matter how messed up it is, and you make it funny. It's a coping mechanism. That's why so many comedians, a lot of them have issues. It's not right, but it's like they've coped with their life. A lot of these people had tough lives, and they cope with their lives by making fun of things, because if you can't make it funny, it's just depressing. So, it's like, that's what comedy is. You take a situation that's not funny and you make it funny. Sometimes it's a tragedy. Sometimes it's a sexual orientation. Sometimes it's a race. Sometimes it's a gender. Sometimes it's a historical event. That's what comedy is. So people on all sides are like very intolerant to I think we're losing that. But I'm bringing it back, because someone said George Carlin. Yeah, he was like a genius level, not just a comedian, but a social commentator. That's what separated George Carlin from these other comedians. I like Fluffy. Gabriel, Fluffy's very funny. It's family friendly a lot of times, but it's like he's commenting on everyday stuff, which is very relatable and it's very funny. But George Carlin's commenting on society in a way that, like, 50 years later, he's still right about a lot of stuff. He didn't like Christians. He didn't like religion. He was probably a liberal. He probably wasn't conservative, George Carlin, but that doesn't mean I have to hate George Carlin. I love George Carlin. I think he was an atheist, but his atheist jokes were funny to me and interesting. I don't have to agree with it, but that's comedy. If George Carlin can't be a liberal atheist, then what's the point? But I got to go. 5:00, supporters only on Facebook. If you want more, that's what it is. This has been the best ad for my Facebook supporters, because we're having a good time today. But if not, patreon.com/rare talks, another way to support, dreamrare.com. I already told you the hat specials or the sticker specials. That's what it is. That's the best I could do right now. Eventually I'll do more. Someone said Tim Dillon. I like Tim Dillon. He's like, he might be liberal. I think he's gay, but he's very funny. So it's like, yeah, he jokes about everyone. He's a funny guy. I like Tim Dillon. All right. I don't always agree with his political takes, but he's pretty good. He's honestly pretty good. Same with Glenn Greenwald. But have a good day. God bless you guys. I'll be back soon. All right. Turn this off. Bang. Bang.